Hi folks, my name is Mr. Kuchak and I am your art teacher. Before we begin, let me go over our class rules. We have 3 rules at Elk Lake. Be ready, be responsible, be respectful. We are ready in the art room when we come in, sit in our assigned seats, and get quiet so that we can learn about art. We are responsible in the art room when we follow directions and take care of our supplies, and we clean up any of our messes. We are respectful when we use kind words like please and thank you, and when we value other students' artwork. Supplies you will need for today's lesson. Go ahead and pause the video if you need to. Move the camera so that you can see my paper. I will continue talking and you can just follow along. Alright folks, today we are going to be doing some duct tape. So the duct tape stuff that we need to finish this project anyway is we are going to need 1 bobby pin. Now these bobby pins you can buy 100 of them at the dollar store for $1. So that's why we like using these. And then you're going to need some duct tape, a pair of scissors, and then your pattern. Now our pattern today, this is 6 inches long by 3 inches wide. So it's 6 by 3. If you don't have a pattern, just pause the video, go make a quick little pattern, or if you have a ruler there, you can always use a ruler to space it out. But I like starting from a pattern, like a form, because then I can go ahead and it makes it much easier to make everything. So what we need to do first is we need to make a sheet of duct tape. So a sheet of duct tape is like a sheet of paper. The problem with duct tape is one side's sticky. So we don't want a glue trap that grabs a hold of everything that's on our table. What we want is a nice kind of clean surface where we can start working. So with the duct tape, this is what you are going to do. You are going to first not tear your duct tape just like I did. So we want to keep that nice and clean. If it's all torn up, we don't want that, but we can use that later on. So I'm just going to put that on the side for right now. So the first thing I do is I get some duct tape out and I tape it right to my table. Since my table is kind of plasticky, it releases very easy. And then I put my form, my pattern, right next to there. Then using these scissors. Now these are the Friscar's titanium non-stick. It seems to be working pretty good. The only problem is it doesn't seem to want to cut as much on the tip, so you have to use the back part of the scissors. So with this setup, I pull the tape a little bit and I line up the nose of the scissors, that's the front of the scissors, with the front of the pattern, and I just cut nice and easy so that the tape doesn't go flying all over the place. Then I'm going to put that over on the side. I need 4 pieces of tape, all cut to the same length. So I have 1. Once again, I'm going to hold it, I'm going to pull it, I'm going to cut it. That's 2. I'm going to hold it, pull it, cut it. That's 3. And this will be 4. Now, before you put your tape away, if you don't have a little mess up like I had, what I suggest is you just cut another piece of tape real quick. And it only needs to be as long as that is wide. So like a 3-inch piece of tape is perfect. And just set this over on the side, and I'll show you why in just a minute. So now we're done with our tape. We are going to probably need our scissors again. And then the only other thing that I forgot to tell you to get is a Sharpie so that you can trace over any designs and that kind of stuff. So the next part that we want to do is we want to make the first half of our sheet of duct tape. You can see this is a little bit wider than halfway, which is very important because if it wasn't wider, we would need 3 pieces. But because it's a little bit wider, we can get away with 2. So I put my first one even with the bottom. This way it's the same. Then I'm going to take my next one. Now, this is when everything wants to stick together. This is when you get your hands stuck together. This is when the glue trap kind of happens. So I use my thumbs on the sides, and when I drop this one in, I'm not trying to just drop it over the middle. I'm just trying to make it so that I don't have to cut it side to side. So I'm matching up the top with the top, and I just drop it right in place. Where it goes is where it's staying. If it drops sideways, you might get lucky and be able to pull it up if you didn't press, but for the most part, if it goes sideways or if it goes all over the place, you're gonna probably have to start over and cut 2 more pieces. Now, that's half. What we need to do is we need to make sure it's sticky on both sides. Notice I'm not taping my pattern on the inside. I don't want to do that because I need my pattern to measure. So I'm going to take my next one. Now with this one, if I put it over this top one, it's not going to seal it up very strong. So I want to go on the small side and connect over the middle so that it locks it in place. Once again, I'm going to hold it, I'm going to come over the top, and I want the ends to match up with the ends. I drop it down and I'm going to smooth it out. This way my edge stays nice and clean. Then I'm going to take my top, I'm going to come over the top, I'm going to drop it in place, and now I have my sheet of duct tape. Basically, any project that you make is going to start with this. So this is a great first project. If you're getting into duct tape or you want to make stuff with duct tape, this is a great one to start with. So now my pattern. You can see my pattern is a little bit longer here on the sides. It's fine. Even if it was a little bit shorter, it's perfectly fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this clean up and go nice and straight and flat. So I'm just kind of lining this up. I got really lucky here where my dots line up on the duct tape that's on there, so I could just follow those and connect and connect and connect. So then I'm going to come to this side, and because that's sticky there, I don't want that either, whether you make this into a bow tie or a hair bow, you don't want that sticking to you. So I'm going to follow that right along. And then I am going to cut. Once again, when you're cutting, open the scissors all the way and cut. It's much easier if you open the scissors all the way when you're cutting. That way you can get your pieces out of there. Now, once that's done, then you're going to add your design. So your design could be something like stars. It could be something like an American flag. It could be different patterns that you put on there. But if you notice, all these have something in common. The middle is going to be squished. So here in the middle of this, I'm not going to put any designs. You want your designs over here, not in the middle, because you're not really going to see that shape. So, you know, use your designs over here. If you're going to put different shapes, if you're going to use different things, if you're going to put your name, you know, you would want any type of designs over here, not here in the middle. Now, the next part, you want to make sure that you use that smaller piece of duct tape that you had. Duct tape's great because it has a grain to it. That means there's a definite direction to it. It's harder to tear this way, but it's very easy to tear towards you. So if you hold this in your hands, you kind of pinch the top, you're going to take one arm and push that way. You're going to have one arm and pull towards you. So it's a push-pull. So I hold, push-pull, and that way I have my middle pieces that I can use to add the center of the bow. Now, this type of fold is called a fan fold. So if you've ever made a fan out of paper and you have done this fold, it may just be a little different because it's a little bit smaller, but it's the same exact thing. It's a fan fold, or also called an accordion fold. The step is back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You want to fold it into one small area instead of having it really spread out. So this is how I start. I like to push it forward. That gives me the size. So if I fold it here, then I'm only going to have like 3 folds. So I like to fold it a little bit smaller. And then I come back, and then I flip it the other way. Now, you can see I'm struggling a little bit here because I'm hitting the middle where it's overlapped. That's okay. That's going to get a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. And then we got that back. Now, right here is the middle. If I hold it here and I wrap my tape around it, the whole bow is going to be lopsided. So I need to slide my hand over a little bit without letting go. I take my tape, I put it over the middle, and I want to keep this nice and tight as I pull. So I'm pulling this around and I'm just keeping that nice and clean. You can see that big X that I put in the middle is gone. You really don't even see it. The last step is to add in your bobby pin. So I like to put the flat part facing down, the other part goes inside there, and that way you could wear it as a bow tie, you could wear it as a hair bow, and the nice thing too is it's also reversible. So if you put designs on both sides, you can always flip it and have something on the other side. So we went from our simple pattern to our sheet of duct tape to our bows and our bow tie. So good luck today. Remember, watch your area, keep it nice and clean so that you're not getting duct tape wrapped up into each other. Make sure you are not putting duct tape on you or your tools because it's hard to get off. Also, it's very, very extremely sticky. So one of the things that I did talk about was if a piece of duct tape falls across. Sometimes you might get lucky, you might be able to pull that apart. Sometimes you won't. So if the duct tape just tears and rips and is all over the place, you're just gonna have to restart. So sometimes that happens when we're learning new things. So good luck today. Can't wait to see what you make. Have a good day.